all the points they need, even though Brighton had more chances in the game. But Fulham was clinical and Iwobi scored two in that game. So kudos to Iwobi, our very own. Welcome guys, welcome to Vote Sports on Vote 104.3 FM. My name is Godwin and I am here with the guys in the studio to talk about the Premier League. Two games happened yesterday. I know our phones were ringing yesterday back to back because of that Manchester United and Arsenal game. Sorry, we couldn't take most of your calls, but today you can probably, if you want to call in, you can call in and tell us what you think about that game again today. Okay, welcome guys. I am here with my guys to discuss all that. Good morning, also. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. It's been a disappointing midweek for some of us, but we are good. And Tottenham Hotspur and Fulham got the result they deserve, and it's good for them.
What do you mean by
Welcome to the
Spurs
show.
got the result they deserve? They lost. Okay, good morning, John. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, sports listeners. Welcome to the show. What a wonderful weekend awaits us.
Okay, remember guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We are live now on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. You can go there, join us, drop your comments. I will be reading your comments live here in the studio. Okay, let's start with the game. Our Nigerian guy, our two Nigerian guys played yesterday and they won that game 3-1 against Brighton. It was a good result for Fulham. Winning that game, everybody didn't expect it, but it happened.
Yeah, a good game for them. You saw the intensity from the Brighton side. I just felt like they didn't bury their chances. It was one of those problems. I think the Fulham were compact in defense and creative going forward. They were clinical going forward and compact in defense. And I liked the way they played. The Fulham side, I liked the way they played. But the Brighton side didn't let their guards down. They didn't just say, okay, because this part defending, let's go back and defend and try and hit on the break. They kept on playing their football. They kept on playing their game. They kept on with their style, according
As
to
is
some
to
people.
be expected.
They kept on playing their style of football even while they were losing. They didn't change the style, they didn't change anything in the tactics, just a couple of subs here and there that changed the game to get them the goals, but yeah, the goals didn't come forward.
Okay, John, you will be scoring two goals. You will be somebody that we criticize sometimes when he plays for Nigerian Super Eagles, but in this game, he turned up for Fulham and scored two goals.
I think it's fair to say that Victor Boniface and Iwobi are two players who we are still looking with one corner eye in Super Eagles with regards to their performances when they are playing for us. But, we can admire them when they play with their clubs, obviously, because they are goal-getters, and Iwobi delivered yet another stellar performance for Fulham yesterday, and it's kudos to him and kudos to the people around him, because even though you're a star player, you still need the average Joe around you or the other players around you to bring out the best in you. I think one scenario that kind of highlights this is, if you watched the movie Goal, you will see where the manager was teaching the player that he has to work with teammates because the ball is faster than you, and so he will be working with his teammates, pull up a stellar performance.
You're talking about the history of the Mexican Newcastle legend.
Yeah.
Well, all the same, look at it now. Iwobi is one of those players that we will respect. I always respect him for his style of play, his performance on the pitch. But he doesn't translate. He translates it to the Super Eagles side defensively.
But not attacking.
Offensively, we don't see it. In what's it called, mid block, you see we'll be running up and down, trying to get the ball back, winning tackles. Leave that work for Frank Onyeka and Didi. They can do that job better. Trosekong is in the back. What's it called, the brick wall at the back. He can do that job better. Enjoy your freedom up front. And you can see that in the Fulham side. He has that freedom of roaming ahead.
Yeah,
even last season when they had Paulina in his side, with him and Paulina in the mix, and what's it called, Andres Pereira in that midfield, it was all going forward last season. This season now, he's coming with a Smith Rowe and all of those players, and he still has that freedom of, okay, see, I can still go forward and create chance, and I know there are still workhorses around me. That's the case. I have workhorses around me that could help me cover my lapses, and it's going well for him. But I believe when he comes back to the Super Eagles side, he should learn to allow the defensive midfielders and the center midfielders do their job while he goes forward to create those chances. And again, he dropped a new song recently. We are now looking at him with one kind of eye. Is he going to be playing because Memphis Depay dropped an album, was it in 2022?
Yeah.
Now, Iwobi has dropped a song. Are we expecting an album from him so we know he's planning on retirement? Or are we expecting him to put up the performance to at least?
People have multiple talents, so it's possible. Okay, let's see what they are going to be doing. They won that game. Good game for Bassi too. Bassi played very well in that game, and he almost kept a clean sheet, but it didn't happen. That game ended 3-1 in favor of Brighton in front of Fulham. They won that game 3-1. And then don't talk about the next game in the EPL in the Premier League. It's I don't know what happened, but Tottenham Hotspur is a team that is strange.
Like I said, and you countered me. I said
they are the strangest team sometimes. I don't understand. You know, I can remember Angie. I think last season Arsenal supposed to play. I think Manchester City supposed to play Spurs, and Arsenal needed them just to get a draw in that game. And he went on the social media. He was seeing probably Spurs fans
Sports fans were supporting
their
City
team
to win
in their
so that their adversary don't win the
so
league. That's
he couldn't
crazy.
believe what he was seeing. Like, how can you can support your an opponent to win your own team just because you don't want your rival to win the Premier League? But that mentality, I think, is a problem. For the mentality is a problem to sports. They lose games you don't expect them to lose. Look at the games they have lost. They beat City, I think, twice already. But imagine they go out, win the big game, and go out and lose the next game against the smaller team. They lost that game against Bournemouth 1-0. What do you make of that game?
when I said they got what they deserve, you countered me and said no, they lost their game. There's something wrong with them physically, mentally, spiritually, and everything.
I remember Akilini talked about them, that there's something wrong about this.
Something is wrong with
Yeah.
them. Look at a side that goes against Man City. Arsenal is chasing the title, and you're singing, you better lose to Man City so the trophy can go up north than stay in London. Now you're singing that song that the trophy should go up north and stay in Manchester than coming down to London. Instead of that, it's better for you to lose.
Yeah.
So Man City will leave the league than Arsenal winning it. And you're telling that to your club, and you want to win trophies. But Bele FC, you will never win anything. You see, the I think the calls we're getting the other day, Man United versus Arsenal. But Bele FC, Man United fans, were saying Liverpool should not win that match, so they cannot equal Man United Premier League record with 20. It cannot be 2020.
Yeah.
Chelsea fans were also saying the same thing. But Bele FC is what we call them. Once you keep bad belaying other people, your own no go come.
That's the thing, though.
Tottenham also for the first 2 seasons has bad belayed Arsenal.
This one you are talking is just meat, because
It's not meat.
everybody doesn't want their rival to win. For example,
Definitely.
whether you like it or not, Liverpool still won title.
now
Just
look
look at it. Look at North London right now. No silverware has come to North London from the white side of North London. Simple. What do you have to say there? They've had the Rugby Kings.
They've had all the best
They've
players
had
in the Premier League.
they've had Crouch, they've had Defoe, we can go ahead and name all the names we want to name. They've had Bent, they've also had Hurricane and Son now.
Bale.
Nothing has come. Bale too. So it just goes to show you that, if you were only Tottenham, a lot of them are still sour because Arsenal moved up north and they felt like Arsenal came to bring lights to London, because since history you guys haven't won anything.
See, not
right now.
London. Be coming down. The London is large.
West Ham, when last did you guys win the Premier League?
2
Now,
years
come
ago.
on.
2 years ago, won a trophy.
I said Premier League.
Leave that one.
Premier
That's
League.
not the cup. It's title.
That's
Title
what
is
we're talking
title. Cup
about.
na cup. Any cup na cup. But I feel like this Tottenham Hotspur side, they need to go back. Do a ridiculous. In short, I don't know if they should come and call like 7 or 15 priests from Nigeria here to come and do a proper prayer for them. Open their stadium with prayers and all of that. Not just Christian priests. I'm talking about both the Islam, and they should come together and pray for Tottenham Hotspur, because
But
this is not normal.
The problem right now isn't
not
let me
normal.
say a spiritual problem.
I say
It's not
spiritual,
a spiritual
mental,
problem.
physical.
It's a cultural problem.
Psychological.
It's a cultural problem at the white side of North London, which is you have people. I don't want to go into the people right now, but the problem is that you have people who are okay coexisting in the Premier League as long as they finish above Arsenal. Go back, they call it St. Tottenham's Day. That's the last derby match of the season, and whoever wins that derby has bragging rights for the rest of the year. And so long as Tottenham finish above Arsenal in the Premier League, their fans are happy. But guess what? Over the last 4-5 seasons, they haven't done that, and they are living in Arsenal shadow, and I'm sure that it's not a nice place to be, which is why when the opportunity
Over the past 5 seasons, they've been there.
which
It's
is
just the
why
last 3 seasons.
that's why I said no, they haven't finished above Arsenal in the last 4 seasons. They haven't. So which is why when it was being in place to allow City win that title or stop Arsenal, they wanted City to win the title, which is why the fans were the way they were, going all over social media and stuff, because for the last 4 years you haven't finished above these guys, so you've lost bragging rights of St. Tottenham's Day, and then coming into them coming to do the parade in your own home.
Okay,
It's
let's see what
crazy.
happens that game. That game ended one goal to nil. If you look at the statistics in that game, Bournemouth had 21 shots with 8 shots on target. Even though that Spurs kept more possession, they had only 12 shots in total and 4 on target. So somehow Bournemouth are winning the big boys in this league. They won against Arsenal, won against Manchester City, now they win the one against Spurs. So let's see where they are going to be ending on the table because it's getting very table is taking shape. Liverpool drop points, Arsenal and Chelsea are winning their games. They are moving up the table. So if you look at now after the week 14, if you look at the table, Liverpool stay fourth with after 14 games with 35 points. Chelsea are second with 28 points after 14 games. Arsenal third with 28 points. Man City are fourth with 26 points. If you look at where Man United is, Man United are still in 13th with 19 points. So they are still in 13th. If you look at the relegation battle, the top three relegation guys there is Ipswich Town with 9 points, Wolves with 9 points, and Southampton with 5 points. So for me, Southampton are gone.
Crystal Palace,
I just thought
Crystal Palace with 12 points.
Yeah, that's still above
Just one
relegation.
match.
It doesn't
Just
matter
one match.
because these 3 points is actually can save you. But if you look at these three candidates, it's Wolves that I'm surprised that are there. Let's see if they are going to survive. But Southampton, for me, they are back to championship next season. There is no way they except there's something like a miracle happens with them, then something will happen. But let's see if they will survive and who will survive this Premier League this season. Okay, let's move out from the Premier League and move over to the Serie A because two big games are happening in the Serie A today. We are going to discuss that. Before we go there, let's go to our YouTube. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports and Juventus 07. Yeah, welcome to the show. He's saying, will Victor Gyökeres fits better in Barcelona than Manchester United if they sign him? Well, it depends.
Barcelona are not looking for him right now, so maybe you know something.
They have Pau Victor, they have Ferran Torres.
They don't have
They have strikers.
They don't have strikers.
They have strikers.
I don't think Barcelona is want to spend big money now, but let's see. Let's see. Okay, but if you look at he's also saying Juventus 07 is also saying who will replace Julian Alvarez for Manchester City, as it shows they really miss him.
You're correct.
They sign someone in the winter, or Pep will wait to summer transfer.
He can't wait to summer transfer.
He has to just sign somebody. He has to sign somebody. He has to actually sign somebody. If not, this league might run away from them. Because I think they actually miss Alvarez. Because imagine if Alvarez was in this team, there is no way they would have not picked more points than they are on the table. But let's see what happens with them. Manchester City are trying to win 5 in a row, which is actually run away from them because Liverpool are in form. They are the most formed team in Europe now. So let's see if they are going to drop in points. Okay, let's move on to the Serie A. Two big games happening in the Serie A today. Our very own Lookman is going to be taking on AC Milan. Let's talk about what happened there. The other game that is happening there is Inter Milan versus Parma. But let's talk about Atlanta and Milan. What do you think will happen in that game? If you look at the way Atlanta has played this season, Atlanta are I won't call them the dark horse, but they have not won the league for a very, very long time. Now they have an opportunity to win the Serie A. They are in the conversation this season, but they are going to play in a Milan side that are good, even though they are not in the conversation for now for the title race, fighting for the title. But what do you think will happen in that game?
I think you have every right to call them the dark horses. Let's not come here and come and cap right now. Atlanta have not finished in the top 4 in the last, let me say, outside last 2 seasons. They are not perennial visitors to that top 4 position. They just broke out of the stratosphere of mid-table team and pushed into that position just off the back of the last 2 seasons. So you can call them the dark horses because even in this season, okay, let's say last season you could have called them dark horses, but then they went as far as they went in Europe, and now this season they are in the conversation. They are the only outsiders to that top 4 right now. They are the only outsiders to that top 4 that have never won it and haven't gotten silverware a couple of seasons locally in Italy. So you can call them the dark horses. And let's not forget also that AC Milan are coming into this match off the back of that 6-1 trailer.
Yeah, okay, so cup game be that. Cup game.
Baba, it's a match before this match. So whether it's a cup competition or it's a prem or the Serie A, it's still a match all the same. They are in form, and they are coming into this match against Atalanta. And when you are able to win a game and score 6-1, whether it's in the cup or in the league, it's a game. And you are coming off, if we are counting form now, it's going to be counted into that form. So coming into that match, off the back of that win, they are in high spirits. One, two, they have momentum on their side, and this is Atalanta. So it's going to be a feisty encounter between Atalanta and AC Milan. And all I just want to say is that AC Milan are ready because they've broken that deadlock of drawing a couple of games, not being able to win their games, and they are coming into this match looking to face an Atalanta side that are ready for them.
What do you make of that game, So if
Yeah,
you
we
look at
see all
that game,
the tactical everything in Italy now. But me, I'm seeing my two brothers coming into that game to play. Ademola Lookman and Samu Chukwueze. In the last game, I think he got a goal also and an assist. And in this game, he'll be coming in to put up a performance. And it's not just him. I think there's another Nigerian brother in that team as well, in the AC Milan side, who plays from the bench. So
Yeah,
it's going to be
Okafor.
It's going to be I think I'll call him Nigerian brother, but he said he's German. He's German or Dutch. So this game is going to be tough between them. They want to exploit some spaces, and I think AC Milan spaces in defense has been open in recent days. People actually find a way of exploiting. Look at the Fiorentina game. Look at how they played against Fiorentina. You could see how Fiorentina went on to exploit the errors in defense. And I think that's what Atlanta will be doing in this game, exploiting the errors in defense. Unless they seal that back line, they have a problem in this game.
Okay, that game is happening. Lookman and Chukwueze, they are all playing today. Let's see what happens today. The other game happening in this area is Inter is playing Parma. Inter are the favorites because they are the defending champions. But if you look at that game, Parma has been there, and sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. If you look at where they are on the table, they are at 11th with 15 points. But what do you make of Inter Milan? Inter Milan have only lost one game in the Serie A. They have 28 points. They need to win this game if they want to retain that title.
The main thing is, when you come into a game like this is Parma, of course. This is not the Juventus, the AC Milan, the Atalanta. So it's Parma. The problem with it being Parma is that you don't know which Parma is going to turn up. Is it the Parma that are going to come and greet them and say? Is it the Parma that are going to come in and say that shall not pass, or is it the Parma that are going to come in and fumble the ball in this encounter? But nevertheless, Inter Milan will like more daylight between them and Napoli, who they are currently chasing right now in the league table. So they need to win, and they need to win dominantly, and then they need to hope that in serendipity somebody up there does them some favors.
Well, if you look at the game, other games happening in Serie A from tomorrow, Genoa is going to play Torino. Juventus are the draw masters this season. They draw everywhere. They draw everywhere. I think they are 4th or 5th on the table without losing a game in this Serie A.
Yes.
So they are unbeaten, but they are way off the points, top 4. But I don't know how that is. They actually picking up draws, 1 point everywhere. Sometimes even better if you play 3 games, it's better to win 2
and draw 1
and lose 1 than to have 3 draws. They are saying I'm unbeaten in 3 games while they just collected.
It's better to win 2 and draw 1 than to win. Losing at all is not that. They don't want to take an L to their name, so they want to keep an unbeaten record.
If you go back and check last season, the average losses by teams in the big 5 across the 5 leagues in Europe was like 4 to 7. So it's okay to lose some games, just as long as you don't keep losing them, because at the end of the day, at the end of this season, now if you go check the table, the winners are going to have an average of 3 to 7 losses, somewhere between that range. So you can't tell me that because you think a draw is a good thing, but 3 games you have 3 draws, bro, you're as good as 3 losses straight up. So it should be 2 wins and at least maybe a loss rather than 3 draws. Come on.
You can sometimes you cannot actually determine what happens in a game. Sometimes you are just in a game and you end up drawing the game because you're probably a 1 goal down, 2 goals down, you can get a draw. Sometimes you are winning a game and the opponent decides to equalize and you pick up 1 point. So every point is important. But Juventus is playing Bologna tomorrow. Roma is playing Lecce, and Fiorentina is playing Cagliari. Verona is playing Empoli, Venezia is playing Como, and Lazio and Napoli is going to play on Sunday. I think that is one of the biggest games in this Serie A. And Monza is playing Udinese. I think Lazio is another team that is doing well. So they pick up points.
That game is a back-to-back game because they just played last night. They played. I think they played against Napoli in Serie A, what's it called, the
Coppa Italia.
Yes, last night, and it was a good game, good showing. Napoli want to revenge that result.
Yeah, Lazio won that game.
3-1. Napoli want to revenge that result on Sunday, but let's wait till Sunday because last night was just a show of fireworks.
It was show of fireworks. So that's all for the Serie A. Let's see what Lookman and Chukwueze is going to do today. I don't know who to support, but me, I'm supporting Lookman because he has a shot to win the Serie A. So I can't.
They are sitting second.
Yeah,
on the table right now.
So I think if they
Inter wins today, they will sit third.
If they win today, they will go to joint top.
You know, Inter has a game at hand. That's what I'm saying. If they win this game today, they still have a game at hand. They'll go second. And if Napoli,
until then, we are looking if Atlanta wins today, they go first on the table. They have at least till Napoli plays on Sunday. They're going to be top. So let's see. I'm going to supporting Lookman today because they have a shot to winning the Serie A.
African deal.
It's not about African. He has already won that one. I'm just talking about he has more shots for winning this round than Chukwueze, so I think we should support him more. It's not like our support will do anything, but shall we let's support him wherever he is. Okay, let's move away from the Serie A and move out to the La Liga. La Liga is happening today. I have only one game. It's Celta Vigo versus Mallorca. Mallorca is the team that actually won Barcelona. But if you look at that game, do you think that they can actually get another win again against Celta Vigo?
Definitely not. Definitely not. They're going to Celta to play this game. Vigo has not been picking up points as they should be picking up points, but they will be looking for a way to get back in their result. You get, and this game is just a sure winner for them as well.
Okay. For me, I think Mallorca can get a result against Celta Vigo. They've had maybe a run of draws whenever they've played in the La Liga. The last win at Celta Vigo's home was in 2003. So I think, coming off the back of that win in the league, they should be able to go to Vigo and get a result.
Okay, that game is happening today. Celta Vigo and Mallorca, 9 o'clock. Let's see what happens. Other games are happening tomorrow and next. So we are going to talk about that when tomorrow comes. But if we go to the next game in the Bundesliga is happening today again, and Stuttgart is playing Union Berlin. So what do you think will happen in that game today?
Stuttgart always win. I think they're challenging for the title this season as well. Look at where they are in the Champions League. I think they've only won, or they've played 3 points in the Champions League or 2 points in the Champions League, and they've not won much games in the Champions League, and they want to continue to go back to the Champions League. So when you test international football, the only way to dominate, the only way to continue to be in that position is winning games in your league games, or perhaps winning the Champions League itself. And look at the way they play in the Champions League. You know that I don't think they have any hopes of winning the Champions League.
Will they even qualify for the Champions League?
No, they are not even in the top. They are not even in the top 24. That's what I'm telling you. They're not in the top 24.
Even their league, they are ninth with just 17 points.
That's the thing. And 1 point above Union Berlin. So
I don't even think they are going to take this Europe thing again.
They are definitely going to get it.
Champions League.
Continentals next year. Definitely.
We're talking about Champions League now.
Maybe Europa League, but they are coming to Champions League. And
more like Conference League, if you ask me.
They are not going to Conference League.
More like Conference League, man.
Okay, if you look at that game, what is the prediction for that game? Who do you think will win that game?
I'm sticking with Stuttgart.
Back in Berlin.
Okay, we're back in Berlin. Okay, if you let's move out to the Ligue 1. Ligue 1 are actually happening today too. If PSG are playing today, PSG are a team that are unbeaten in the Ligue 1 throughout this season. They have not actually lost a game at all, but they are playing Auxerre today. What do you think will happen? Do you think that PSG will continue their win? And Lille is playing Brest, but let's talk about Auxerre and PSG because we don't really talk about much on this show about Ligue 1, but let's talk about them a little bit on this show and all their games in the weekend. But this PSG team, they have not turned off in the Champions League. If you look at the Champions League, they are struggling. Even though I have a feeling that they are going to qualify, though, but it's going to be tough. But when it comes to their domestic league, they just dominate teams. They win games, even though the last game they drew that game. But they are playing now. This Auxerre. Do you think PSG will win this game again?
I think they have what it takes to win Auxerre. I think that they might qualify in the Champions League, but they will be knocked out. And then in the league right now, they are topping the table, and I think they are sure on to go ahead and win it, unless somebody else, maybe in the person of the Marseille, maybe in the other club like Monaco, have something to say about it. But they should be able to win Auxerre. The problem is, are we going to see the PSG that has been winning so far turn up? Or are we going to see them find it hard to break down Auxerre? Because if Auxerre goes and parks the bus, How are they going to break them down?
But if you look at their league form in the league on, they have played 13 games, 110 and draw only 3. So I think they are unbeaten. I think they can go to these Oze guys and just trash them there.
That's what we keep saying. They can go to these Oze guys and just trash them until they play against Le Havre, and Le Havre have 1 point.
They get. That's what I'm saying. It could go either way.
They went on to play against other teams, and the teams you know that they would be winning, like teams like Toulouse and all of that, and they went on to just share the points. If you play against a Toulouse, they definitely should be losing. You get. I don't know how you play against sides that you know will be fighting relegation or perhaps fighting middle table, and you go to share points with them. Then whenever you're playing against a team that is around you in the top 6, you're definitely winning those games, and bottom tables you're winning those games. I feel like some teams are there to hurt you definitely, but at some point you just need to go into all of the games with the mentality of winning it. And PSG in this recent season, they just go on to win games by just a scuff. They don't win. They don't win with those much confidence.
Yeah, confidence wins, blowouts and stuff like that. It's just
normal. We shall win. Anyhow we be, we go shall win, and that's what they've been playing like. And it's not good for us, because the last game I was seeing, the last game they played the 1-1. I think it was a 1-1 draw. I was seeing that game and I fell asleep while I was seeing the game. Now, those kind of performance is not good enough. You put up the performance, you put us on our toes. It shows that you're definitely a champion, putting us on our toes, shouting "go I." You know, when you shout "go I" like 15 times, sleep go come off for your eye. Even if you don't score those goals, but when you shout "go I," definitely you jump, and before you know what's happening, you see the full 90 minutes, because they're putting you on suspense. They're always going on the attack. They're always going on the on the offensive, and always putting the defensive line on the back pedal.
Okay, if you look at Enrique, what do you think if he does not qualify, if he gets knocked out of the Champions League, do you think they should sack him?
Pochettino did well. Tuchel, all of those coaches, they did not, and they sacked them. So what difference was I think the day they sacked Tuchel, he went on to Chelsea to win the Champions League. So what difference does it make if you keep Enrique on the job? If he doesn't do well by the first week of January, get somebody in. Maybe the miracle that happened with Chelsea might just happen as well. You get somebody in, and if they are still in the Champions League by that time, get somebody in by January ending, and let this man off the job. I just feel like it's the performance between now and January that will decide if he stays long on that job.
They have only one more game in the Champions League. The other games are happening in January. So if he wins this game, next week, then they have a shot to probably qualify for the Champions League. Because how can you have this league table and you are off top 24? It's somehow for the PSG team
it just goes to show you how let me say lighter the competition is in the league on currently. It's just as simple as that. PSG have decided to dominate the league on, but not decide to compete favorably in the Champions League, and it is what it is. And talking about Luis Enrique keeping his job, losing his job, I think when you pay for a product, you get what you deserve at the end of the day. So Luis Enrique at Paris Saint-Germain, they are in a rebuild, anyhow you want to call it. They are in a rebuild because they are moving away from the previous model into a model where they rely on young talented players. And for this model, the man at the helm is Luis Enrique. You can't be in a rebuild moving away from superstars to talents and you are expecting the manager to deliver a Champions League for you.
We're not expecting him to deliver a Champions League.
But that's the thing now, because
we're expecting him to put up a performance in the Champions League.
You can't say you're in a rebuild and you are judging somebody based on performance in the Champions League.
Look at you can't keep judging him based on performance in the league, because with the big names and without the big names, they'll be winning the league. They've done at least 9 in a row before Leo stopped them. They did at least another 7 in a row before some other team stopped them. So the league is definitely theirs. Nobody's debating that with you. But look at Brest in the Champions League. You can't tell me that if this man doesn't finish,
look at Brest form in the league. Paris pursue in the Champions League.
You can't tell me that if this man does not do well in the league, you will sack him at the end of the season. Definitely not. You can't tell me that after Arteta was building, he was going to the Continentals, he was going to Europa Leagues, he was getting to I think quarterfinals of Europa Leagues, and you say he's not getting the title. And I think in his first season he didn't finish in the top 4. You won't say because he didn't finish in the top 4, don't give him a contract.
He did finish in the top 4
after a couple of years.
After 2 seasons.
Now after 2 seasons. Now Enrique came into this job. You will always finish in the league, but what we judge him with is the performance in the Champions League. You can't come into the Champions.
Even the
You
old
can't come into
model
the Champions
in
League.
the old model
Even with
PSG
the old model, how many Champions
the
League they
old
carry?
model PSG we're working with is winning the league is basic. Winning the league does not even secure your job. The bottom line is the management are backing the manager to help PSG win the Champions League. Now, if you win the league and you finish maybe in the semis or you are close to the finals, it's not a bad outing. But for you to crash out of group stage has sacked several managers currently. But when you say you are moving away from that model of signing superstars and looking to push to win the Champions League, I want to build with young talent. That should also defray the desire for the Champions League, because until you have a team of young players that can win things together, before you now look at the Champions League.
John,
So using
John,
that
with
analysis,
with those young talents, they've gone on to win teams. You get
what have they won?
Winning the
What have
Champions.
they
I'm
won?
not saying going to win the Champions League, but crashing out of the
They haven't
group
won
stage.
anything locally.
Crashing out of the group stage will become a problem for them in the Champions League. You get it tells about the mentality of the team you're trying to groom.
First and foremost, this is the first season with this young crop of players. He hasn't had a first full season.
Then
with
go
them.
to the quarterfinals.
He hasn't had a first full season.
Don't
They
lose in
haven't
the
won
group stage.
anything. And look at the league. They are doing fine in the league as well. So you can't just come and say, for want of winning the Champions League this season, you are fired. That means you are not ready to do the review.
I'm not saying winning the Champions League.
Qualify for the knockout stages.
Qualify for the knockout stages.
Which makes sense for me.
It makes sense. I'm not saying if you're in the by this season you want to rebuild. This team has always won the league, domestic league, won the domestic cups. If you're going to qualify for the knockout stages,
they've always won the domestic cups with big
league,
stars.
With now big stars,
with
check the
big
record.
stars,
John,
go and look at it.
John, go and check the record.
The takeover happened less than a decade ago. Go and look from the takeover till date. All those trophies they've won have been with stars. Go back, go look at the record.
John,
with the Ibrahimovic, with the Cavani's, with the Neymar, with the Messi's, and with the Mbappe's. Go and check.
They did multiple in a row. Because of the stars, I agree with you. But before the stars came in, they've been winning trophies.
Before the stars came
they've been winning trophies.
It's not under this management. It's not under this management.
Like I said, this management came in, and the Saudis, what was it called?
It's not up to a decade they came in.
Like
yes.
I said, and they did 9 in a row.
Within that decade, they've won with stars.
They win 9 in a row, no problem. But before then, they've been winning trophies.
Is it this same management?
Without this management,
is it this same management? If it's not this same management, then please keep it to the context of the conversation.
This management, without the management, they've been winning trophies. They didn't just come into this competition.
That is not the context. This management came in and implemented the Galacticos formula, and with the Galacticos formula, they've been winning things back to back, several trophies. Now, this is the first time under this management that they are going to be pivoting to young talents. And you tell me now that one season or half season is enough to decide the future of Luis Enrique in that job.
If I'm the management, crash out of the group stage and you will start.
Let's see, but don't come and tell me that
I'm not telling you winning the Champions League. They've been winning the
Don't come and tell me they've been winning it under this management without big stars, because that's a lie. That's a categorical lie, because the data shows this management has not been in position up to a decade at that club. Go look at your facts before you speak.
Okay, let's see what happens with PSG and Enrique. For me, I think Enrique should actually be qualifying for the knockout stage of Champions League. But let's see what happens. But let's move on to our YouTube, because our YouTube people have started talking about this Enrique matter. And Tima, welcome to the show. He said he's saying, okay, let me read your first comment and start going down. He said UEFA Champions League draw was not fair to PSG. Let's be honest. Well, they have been playing big boys. And okay, he's also saying T-Man is also saying PSG is a big team. Give respect to PSG, my guy. I think he's talking to Nonsu. And T-Man is also saying Kylian Mbappe was a huge factor in PSG not winning the Champions League. Okay. It's okay. Firing debates. I love it. Okay, the debate. He loves the debate. Okay. Okay, Emmanuel, welcome to the show. He said, PSG let go of big names. They are just bunch of local champions now. Oh, wow. Emmanuel is also saying, expectation on Enrique is just too much. When they have a sound team, they couldn't win. Now
Thank you.
I'm not saying win.
they won't win when they are a bunch of average players.
What are we saying?
Okay, he's also saying PSG has been winning with big stars. Before the stars, they were not such a major threat. Okay,
Sure.
I think so, because if you look at the record, the last time they won before this takeover, I think it was the 2015 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Then the takeover happened and they started winning the league back to back. I think under this management, they have actually bought stars.
Stars and only stars, yes.
Is this
Like I
season
said,
that they have
9
not
That's
years
why I'm
ago.
saying
stars?
it's
Like
too
I said,
soon.
they
It's too
did
soon
9
to
in a
judge
row.
him or relieve him of his job just after this one season. Not even up to one season with this young guy. So it's even
Like
too
I
soon.
said, you're going to the Champions League. The model is go and qualify for the not just winning the league. Let us get into the knockout stages of the Champions League, and let's win the Champions League. Now, this management came in, or perhaps Enrique came in and said he can do it with younger players. And with younger players, you're finishing below qualification for knockout stages. Definitely, you're not doing what you said you would do. You get what we do now is Ekweme. When you come, you say you want to play your tactics. Your tactics is play with young players, play with amateurs. Then fine, play with amateurs. Get us where you want to be. Knockout stages of the Champions League. You now come into the Champions League. Your first season, you didn't go through the group stages. It becomes a problem. It tells on your record as a coach.
Okay,
At
let's
this
see.
point, I don't think Enrique cares about his record. He just cares about his paycheck, basically.
Okay, let's see what PSG is going to have. They are playing Auxerre today. Let's see what they are going to do. But for me, I think that they should be qualifying for the knockout stage of the Champions League. But they'll have to decide if it doesn't qualify, if it stays or go. But the other game that is happening in Ligue 1 is Lille versus Brest. Brest are doing well in the Champions League, but they are not doing well in the Ligue 1. They are not even in conversation of top four next season. So I don't think they are going to win Champions League. So, but if you look at that game, Lille are fourth on the table. What do you think will happen in that game? Let's get your prediction for that game.
It's about getting international recognition. You're not doing well in the league, but nobody knew about Brest until we saw them in the Champions League.
Until we saw them last season. Let's not even talk about Champions League. Until they placed where they placed last season.
They placed last season. You're now going back to do a dig. What's their history like? Majorly people like us is when we saw them in the first 3 matches in the Champions League, and these people are top 3. You get first 3 matches in the Champions League, and you're like, who is this team that is top 3? They've not lost a game, they've not drawn a game. They are competing with Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Man City in the top 4 in the Champions. And you're like, Real Madrid is not in this top 5. Who is this Brest team? Where are they coming from? Then you start in the dig, and you see that they finished in the top 4 in Ligue 1 last season. They put up a performance to beat some big names. And you're like, okay, fine, let's look at their highlights. Let's see. And now I think they're getting more subscribers on social media. They're getting every recognition they deserve to get, and you see some of their players also getting the recognition that they deserve to get. And you see them at this point now, if they want to sell half of that team now, you see them go for a higher price tag on some of the players, because what they need to get is international recognition.
I don't think that's what they need to get, because at the end of the day, you are in football to do one of two things: to win trophies and to also make funds financially as well. So for me, finishing in the league last season at a higher position gave them this opportunity, gave them this exposure, gave them all the revenue they are getting now locally from selling tickets and playing in the Champions League. And now being in the Champions League, if you come in and you tell me that the exposure is your goal for this season, then that's very shallow to come and say as a club, because
like you said,
you've been in this business for the better part of the last decade, or even for the better part of the last century. So coming to the Champions League just to come and watch table and go back, for me, is not it.
Let's see what happens in that game. That game is happening today in the Ligue 1. Okay, we are debating that. What do you think that Marseille, because Marseille is now second on the table, they started well.
With how many points now?
26 points. They started well, but they dropped off. But everyone was expecting Marseille to actually challenge, because the way they started with a bang. But if you look at, they fell up a little bit, then they are now 7 points behind PSG. But do you think that they can actually mount challenge again to challenge PSG to at least
it's a marathon? It's a marathon. Like we said for Liverpool, if Liverpool lose 2 games now, the other people will come back and the heat is on in the Premier League. Same thing happened in the La Liga, where somebody was 9 points, and after just how many games, they're back to perhaps 4 points now. It's the same thing that's happening. 7 points. Definitely, they went on to lose some couple of games, draw a couple of games, and they played against. Where I know that they are still up for the challenges, when they played against Monaco last weekend or their last game, and one of the couple of games back, and they went on to win that game against Monaco. You said, okay, fine, these people are still up for the challenge. They were third on the table then.
Now, what's this of winning in Monaco and then you come and share points with the likes of Brest and a couple of other clubs in the league?
See, you're third on the table. Monaco is second on the table. You need to shut down Monaco to get closer to who is on number one. And shutting down second place to get closer to number one is one of those ways of getting the result. They've been dropping points along the way, but now they are back to winning ways. And winning against Monaco in their last game sent a message. Now they are coming back they lost against PSG I think in the opening series of the game. Now coming back into their winning ways, winning against Monaco built another brand or another series of winning form.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game. Okay, let's move away from football and talk about a little bit of news for West Ham United. Let's go back to news for coaches because he's in a hot seat. Lopetegui is in a hot seat, and the rumors in there is we need to give you one more chance. I don't know what they mean by one more chance.
The next match against Wolves.
I think probably the next match against Wolves, if he loses that game, they might sack him.
Definitely.
Before we go into all this transfer, because have a whole lot of news. Arsenal's assistant signed a new contract. Konate is signing a new contract. Before we go there, let's take some few calls. Number to call is 0706 048 5853. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Name and location, please.
Good morning, Godwin, Nosha, and John.
Good morning.
Okay.
You see, concerning this PSG, Enrique deserves to be sacked.
Thank you.
He fails to qualify from the group stage. Because he says he's building youngsters up. Yeah? He said he no more wants one star in Mbappe. He wants to play He demanded that the board get him a striker. They took 90 million, bought Kolo1, took 50 and bought them Goncalo Ramos. And he still benches them.
I play Osman Dembele as top 9.
When he's on the bench, even against that. After he makes some decisions, last game he played Dembele as number 9.
Thank you.
On the wings. What nonsense is that? After spending all the amount of money, you're here to give excuses. Well, for PSG, I don't think that club has a job. Because the amount of money they spend, and they sack coaches every two seasons.
That's another thing.
If a new coach comes, you abolish the old players and bring players efficient to the system. They will sack him after 2 seasons again. And that is the process they will continue and they think they win any Champions League. But for Enrique, he deserves to be sacked. That man is not a serious person.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Like I said, if he doesn't qualify for the knockout stages of the Champions League, send him packing.
0706 048 5853. Okay, let's take a few calls before we move on to other news. Hello, good morning.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen in the studio.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
The Chelsea man calling from Gary.
Okay, what is your contribution?
Sorry, calling from Gary. My brother here. Where is Enrique? Where is not do anything in PSG? Understand?
Yes.
That man. But when he even did the player, he go to down. I think the person where they play. And now the man goes down. He didn't even do that. I said, go, you have to come and play what you do. But the man go and sit down. Huh? That's what they do. Don't be afraid though. Where's the West Ham man?
He's here.
Good afternoon.
How you day? How you day Friday?
They're ready for you.
The Man City man or woman, I don't know how I go cover.
The Man City man.
You people are trying now. But flogging 3-0. Man is coming, man is coming up. But my brother, I see them in the platform, but we don't can leave.
Okay.
I see my just where I headed. My coach tell me say, you know, carry league. You know they for challenging league. Maybe try enter top 4. You know, we can make more say you carry league. You like when you talk am, they go begin ginger, they go begin struggle. Players go begin struggle for that. I think they go to talk. That's what I thought.
All right.
How you? Good morning, man. Good morning. I the man you pass good morning. They never see anything. They will see something smile. You understand? That's the way they did. The second coach, after they drive at the time, he leave this. Why go leave this man make it continue? He goes like this man. The man come out.
Mr. Roy.
The man win almost 3 matches or 4. He goes to the man. He said this man come on. You go bring this man. The sporting man. When you go here, and they live for 30 position now. Check them. 30 position. They go, what that man will win them? Let me tell you, because that's what they do. When they go sack this man, then the man there for Leicester City now, you win man. They go sack this man. Wait for the win their man. The man win almost 4 matches. You go second. When you go there, I tell you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, other news happening around the world. As we are talking about West Ham, so they are going to give West Ham one more chance against Wolves. If he loses against Wolves, he's going to be sad. So he has one more. That's the rumor that he has one
You
more.
see where Wolf dey for table.
West Ham deserve everything that is coming to them right now. That's all I'll say on the matter.
But do you think that they deserve this one more chance, or they should just give him time to build?
Give the man time. What are we talking about here? For crying out loud, give this man time. Let him cook.
Let him
cook.
Allow Lepotegi to cook.
Let him cook them to relegation.
You see how they look it tough now with corner eye. And I think my bad hand. But they say no. I will say no to violence now. This man, I said this before. I said the last time something like a Spanite did the same thing was what's it called? Pellegrini. Though he's a good manager, I'm not going to fault him now that he's not a good manager. Was a good manager, but when he came in, he brought in 8 different signings and was dragging the team to relegation. You get? I can't have Lopetegui, another Spanite, come in and do another major 8 or 9 different signings and drag the team back to relegation. You come into a team newly. Look at what this man did with Man United. Though what's it called? Amorim, he came in. Though in January we'll see what his transfer policy will look like. Look at what Anslot did with what's it called? Liverpool. In January, see what his transfer policy looks like. Look at what Pep Guardiola. Let's call the people that stayed long in their club. Look at what your club did in Liverpool. Look at what Pep Guardiola did at Man City. Look at what Ancelotti did at Real Madrid in his first season. Look at what he did at Everton. Let's use the Premier League now. Look at what Rafael Benitez did in the Premier League. Your first transfer window, you don't go in to sign all the players in the market.
It's not canon. It's not canon. There's no canonical law anywhere that's how it should be.
And bought 7 players.
I want the league.
Seven a magic number.
Simple.
You understand now.
And
7.
then let's not forget that. Let's not forget because I like the fact that you like calling this. When you are eating every day for breakfast, you want to aspire to 3-course meal a la carte. I understand that.
Just in our one manager.
Look at the value of the West Ham team. Look at the intricate value of all the players in that team. The value of that team is not up to 150 million as of right now, bro. It's not. And you need to invest. Every other team in that Premier League have teams that their players are like at least 500 million, 1 billion and above. Look at them. So you look at those things, those metrics are there for a reason and they are important as well.
Okay,
too.
John.
So you have to weed out players that you do not need and sign the players. And if you can get it done in one summer, why not? Why
you
put
can't
it up
get
over
it done
3
in
years?
one summer.
We have other managers that have come in and have not been backed the way this one has been backed. And if you are going to back him with these signings and bring in these players, then you should back him with some time on the job. That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, if you're bringing players from Spain and Italy, 9 weeks in midfielders and attackers, no problem. But strikers from Italy, I don't support. Now you've brought in players from around Premier League and all of that. Good game, good result. And you let some players go. John, who takes set pieces for West Ham now? Wait,
did he bring in a striker from Italy? Yes or no?
And Germany.
Did he bring in a striker from Italy?
He brought in a striker from Germany.
So why are you raising the striker from Italy?
Wait, John, I'm asking you a question.
That he brought in now. One striker for West Ham who scored more goals than Fulkrug last season. Go.
One striker for West Ham who scored
more goals than Fulkrug last season.
Antonio.
And go look at the stats. They did not score more goals than Fulkrug.
I'm telling names of people that scored more goals than Fulkrug.
They did not score more goals than Fulkrug last season. So don't come here and make West Ham out to be. Don't come here and make West Ham to be a club that they are not. They needed these signings, and even if they didn't need them, Papa said he needed them and he's brought them in. Go and fight him.
And we get sacked. Because, look at I said this. I mentioned names of other coaches. You take time to build. If you're going to offload players that are not useful to the club. Let's say the club signed under Moyes is in his second to the last season. He sold Declan Rice. He brought in people that will take set pieces. He brought in people that will replace. He sold Declan Rice and brought in 3 players that could replace Declan Rice. So you're selling one to bring in 3. Now for this man, now he went on to buy many players and let some other credible players go.
If you want to build, no, so you have to give them time.
You have to destroy.
Arsenal finished 8. If it's like that, they would have sacked him based on how Arsenal is built. They would have sacked him after 2 years.
Look at it now. You want to build, you will innovate. He's innovating because the team didn't have a problem. It's just like
Who told you the team didn't have a problem?
The team didn't have a problem.
Where did they finish last season? They didn't have a problem. Where did they finish last season?
The team did not have a problem.
They have, and they continually have a problem in that side.
They won in the Continentals.
How many years?
Wait, 2 years ago, not be 3 years ago. 2 years ago.
Since 1965, I never win anything.
Then we win one.
You know what?
We win one. Arsenal never win them. We win one.
I get them before, no be property, but about 2 years ago, no be.
I get them before.
I get them before, no be property.
Proving winner and proving winner. If you want to shout, proving winner and proving winner. You win one in 2022. You win one in 2020 or 2023. Now you brought in players. You sold one of.
Please.
You sold players in 2023 after you won that one. You signed sold the rights to Arsenal. You brought in what's called Ward-Prowse and the rest of them. All those players are good players. Then you leave the job in 2024. Just in the summer, you're telling me that James Ward-Prowse is not good enough. Kozuma is not good enough. Other credible players are not good enough. And you bring
look at Manchester United. Look at other clubs. The manager who brought them in was asked. Those players are on the shipping boat. Can't you get that, for crying out loud? These guys cannot work with his format, so they have to go. This is football.
The thing about changing coaches is that you can buy, for example, Amorim is here. He has to find players to fit his style. If after 3 years he doesn't do well, they sack him, they bring another coach. That coach has to change
which
players
of these
again.
Assets can you work with?
That's
and which one? Look at Chelsea. Chelsea have about 28 players looking to leave the club as of any transfer window.
Okay, let's move on to our YouTube. Have comments here on YouTube before probably we take one more call. Let's take one call before we go to our YouTube. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Pedro from Mobile.
Okay.
Happy weekend to you guys.
Yeah, happy weekend to you. What is your contribution?
This West Ham win on, so they carry for head like this.
Baba.
Don't catch you one day.
You see, we have to attack the catch Chelsea fans now under Pochettino.
West Ham, what West Ham don't do, we say West Ham go dey find better player. All those players wey West Ham get sef, you too big for the club. They need to go sign average players.
You know, see, I no blame Chelsea fans now. At this juncture,
West Ham wey dey 14th position. They're supposed to be happy now. Now okay, they won't come dey top 4. Now wow. West Ham should not go and sign any player. Those players that are there is good. Unless they got to sign player, they should sign the lesser player than that one, because I don't see what West Ham have won that will make them to sign big player.
Okay, thank you very much.
That coach that is there is too much for them. They should go sign a championship coach.
Okay, thank you very much.
You know,
Okay,
at this point now, you see Chelsea fans are not blaming and Abramovich giving a mountain at the East Stop.
Okay, let's move
Now
on.
Abramovich and Mourinho,
Let's
they ain't
move
giving
on
a
to-
mountain at the East Stop. If
let's
you say
move on
Mourinho and Abramovich don't come Chelsea,
Independent though. It's not their fault. People should can buy a good coach. If
Simple.
mid-table, I used to go. I think
the same thing now. That's the same thing I'm
This
saying
is what they
now.
say, butterfly that thinks himself a bird.
Investor, now they change team now. Investor and coach,
okay, let's
Mourinho and Abramovich.
Okay, let's see what happens with West Ham if they are going to sack him. If he doesn't win the next game against Wolves, probably he's going to be sacked. Okay, let's move on to our YouTube channel. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports, and Emmanuel Okitipi is saying, "Nonso, allow West Ham coach Joe. The man is doing his best with what he has."
Thank you.
Emmanuel Okitipi is also saying, "Nonso, if you are good, if you be good player, you go sign for West Ham." That's the problem. It has to be signed average players. West Ham deserve average
Paqueta
coaches
may be
like
good player. Man still the final.
West Ham deserve average players, average coaches like Lampard and Rooney. Oh, okay, they don't even deserve the Emmanuel Leo.
That name when you call that they below average. I bet.
Emmanuel Leo, welcome to the show. Okay, he's saying good morning, guys. The Robin Hood of Premier League has done it again. Okay, that's Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea should be wary of this guy. They will play on Sunday. Like their life depends on it. Emmanuel Leo is also saying Ruud van Nistelrooy won't last up to a year with these players. The Chelsea man from Gariki, they talk like say you no Man U players. They will throw Ruud under the bus, but throw Ruud under the bus as they can. Yes, that's how they used to do. But I think Amorim will have to let go of some of these players to make sure that he has control of this. So I think I did something like that. You move all the big boys, the Lacazette, Aubameyang, you move
Kolasinac, a couple of them.
So to make sure that he has control over the player, I think he's probably Amorim should be do the same thing for him to have full control for this Manchester United team. Okay, other news happening in England is Arteta's assistant coach Steffen has signed a new contract with Arsenal to 2007. So that means Arteta is they are going to be staying throughout till at least 2027. See if they can actually wrestle the league. Arsenal is doing well. They are picked form. So let's see where they are going to be ending. Then the talks over Liverpool's defender Konate is ongoing. He's proceeding well, so he's going to sign a new contract with Liverpool, to a long-term contract with Liverpool, to stay there for a very, very long time. Okay, guys, this is how we are going to end today's show. Thank you for joining us on today. We have a whole lot of debates today. Everybody's talking about PSG, if they are going to sack Enrique or not. But let's see if Enrique will stay. Then Lopetegui is in hot seat with West Ham. Let's see after Wolves game. If he loses that game, they go sack him more. They will sack him. That's the rumors that is flying around. But so here is a West Ham man. The West Ham man is supporting them to start Lopetegui. But me, I'm a good person. I don't. If they sack him, how will he feed his children?
How will he feed his children? And secondly, so he has been shouting for since the season started. Lift and hard, blah blah. Baba Lopetegui must remain on that job. He must remain there.
Because
he has family to feed.
He must take them to relegation.
I see something with Ten Hag that I'm not seeing with Lopetegui.
All right, thank you,
for
guys.
this same reason, if they sack him, please, if you're going to sack him, the only person you can bring into that job is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Right,
I will manage him.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us today. So tomorrow we talk about the Premier League, because the games are happening in the weekend. This weekend of football everywhere, in the Serie A, in the La Liga, in the Ligue 1, in the Bundesliga, and especially in the EPL. We have a whole lot of games. So join us tomorrow 8 a.m. sharp. Let's talk about the Premier League. My name is Godwin, and have a wonderful day.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Vote 104.3